First-time buyers, should I buy now? Should I buy later? Gosh, that's a loaded question. It's 2024. Interest rates have been over 7% for the better part of 24 months. Somehow home prices keep rising, and yet over 4 million people bought a home in the last year. It's a wild time in real estate, and I hear a lot of people asking, when is the best time to buy? And a lot of first-time buyers asking the question of should I buy? This feels a little counterintuitive. Why would anybody buy a home when rates are 7%? Let's talk about it for a minute. So let's start with should I buy, or when should I buy, actually? And I want you to look at this table. There's a lot of history in this table. I want you to look at the heat map. Prices tend to do the same thing every single year. From January to June, they go up. From June to January, they go down. It happens every year. Now it's July now, which means you're about to see the news cycle that says prices are falling, home prices are crashing. Well, they're not. They're doing what they do every year. Now you will see some exceptions on this map, and there's two I want to point out. Number one is during COVID. In 2020, there was so much stimulus money and we had so much pent-up demand from the, basically housing market being shut down in the spring that home prices continued to rise through the back half of that year. Totally abnormal, totally funded by stimulus. Unlikely that ever happens again. You also saw home prices fall a bit in spring that year. Again, totally abnormal, totally unlikely to happen again. The second thing I want to point out, go look at 2008, Great Recession, worst housing crash crisis in history. Prices still went up from January to June. They just went down more from June to the next January than they went up the next January to June. So all that's to say, if you're trying to time the market, which is a bit of a fool's errand, look at a house in the winter. Look at a house in November, December, January. That a lot of times is when the best deals happen. Now, at the end of the day, if you buy a house one January and you hold it for 10 Januaries, you are likely to be far better off than buying it in January and trying to sell it in June. Like I said, timing the market is often a fool's errand. Time in the market is the way to build wealth through real estate. So, first-time buyers, should I buy now? Should I buy later? Gosh, that's a loaded question because every single person's situation is different. And the thing I would encourage you to do is to sit down with your financial planner, sit down with a competent mortgage broker or loan officer, and weigh your options. There's so many awesome programs out there. There's zero down programs. There is $100 down programs funded by Community Reinvestment Act funds. There are 3.5% down FHA loans. There's VA loans with no money down. There's USDA loans with no money down. There's down payment assistance for low-income buyers. There's so many different options out there that can get you into the market a lot of times for the same rent that you would be paying a landlord. Yeah, you're gonna have maintenance costs and some other things, but if you can qualify for one of those, you can get your foot in the door and you can participate in that leveraged appreciation I've talked about in some of my other videos. A lot of times that is the pathway to start building wealth for your family. There's also plenty of times when I talk to people and I say, yeah, look, I don't think it's a great time for you to buy. And so it's a personal decision, it's a personal situation, and you've got to talk to a professional. And the key is carve the time out and have the conversation, because it's almost impossible to time the market because you don't control the inventory. The best houses always sell fast, they always sell for the most money. And often when you are searching for your house and you start to narrow down what you want, etc., it can take months and months and months. So the idea that the perfect house is going to be available at the perfect price at the perfect time, kind of a fantasy land fairy tale. And so just get started, talk to a professional, figure out what the right steps are for you, and go out there and find a home. It's Jerimiah Taylor. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel while you're here. Post in the comments if you have questions or feedback. If you think I'm a moron, post it in the channel. I'd love to see that. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching the video.